Come on and cry me a river, cry me a river. I cried a river over
Good morning, long time no hear. How's it going? Over there? Out there? This is some Ethiopian jazz funk from Mulatu Astatke. Let's see. Okay. Mulatu Astatke. Very nice music. Highly recommended. Okay, today I have one or maybe two articles to read for you or to read with you. I never know what's the correct way to say it. This is the first one in line. Chronic stress sends immune cells to brain, driving depression. So immune cells in the brain drives to depression, they say. Let's see what's in this article. Today I'm gonna read the summary. Normally I don't, but it's better for a more introductory comprehension, maybe? I don't know. Let's see. A new study shows that chronic stress causes immune cells called neutrophils to leave bone marrow in the skull. So they come from the skull and collect in the brain's protective membranes, where they contribute to depressive symptoms. In mice, blocking an immune alarm pathway reduced these cells and improved mood-related behaviors. The findings highlight how stress reshapes the brain's immune environment and suggests music is getting crazy. And suggest why 1/3 of patients may not benefit from current antidepressants. Ooh. Not even while taking antidepressants. This immune link could provide biomarkers for tailored treatments and help explain depression's overlap with neurological conditions like stroke and Alzheimer's. So the key facts, they say, are immune link, pathway identified. Immune link, chronic stress triggers neutrophils from skull bone marrow. What is marrow? Skull bone marrow. Let me check, please. Bear with me. While you enjoy a little bit of music. Oh, I thought I was sharing. Sorry. Did you see the beautiful cover? Oh, I don't remember. I know what happened. I have a shortcut that does not help. Image. Very interesting. Let's see in detail. Accept all cookies. Okay. Neutrophil infiltration. Yes, they come from the skull bone marrow. What is marrow? Marrow. Tubular bone marrow. Bone marrow definition. Bone marrow anatomy. Sorry for the obsessive clarification I needed. Yellow marrow. We can say is the very deep in the middle side of the bone. I don't know how to explain. Compact bone. Blood vessels in bone marrow. It's the white, it looks like a very soft part of the bone that is in the middle. Let's continue. Okay. Treatment potential finding could give new immune-targeted therapies for depression resistant to standard drugs. University of Cambridge. Immune cells from bone marrow in the skull in response to chronic stress and adversity could play a key role in symptoms of depression and anxiety, say researchers. The discovery found in the study in mice sheds light on the role that inflammation can play in mood disorders and could help in the search for new treatments, in particular for those individuals for whom current treatments are ineffective. What is the percentage of that? I would love to know. I guess it's high. Around 1 billion people will be diagnosed with mood disorders such as depression or anxiety at some point in their life. 1 billion around the world? While there might be many underlying causes, chronic inflammation, when the body's immune system stays active for a long time, even when there's no infection or injury to fight, has been linked to depression. This suggests that the immune system may play an important role in the development of mood disorders. Yeah, sounds fair. Previous studies have highlighted how high levels of an immune cell known as the neutrophil, a type of white blood cell, are linked to the severity of depression. How? I want to know how it works. But how neutrophils contribute to symptoms of depression is currently unclear. So we're not gonna know how it works. Just they let us know it happens. Research published today in Nature Communications, a team led by scientists at the University of Cambridge, UK, and the National Institute of Mental Health, USA, tested a hypothesis that chronic stress can lead to the release of neutrophils from bone marrow in the skull. Therefore, depression. These cells then collect in the meninges membranes that cover and protect your brain and spinal cord and contribute to symptoms of depression. Yeah, the meningitis is when this membrane that covers and protects your brain and spinal cord has inflammation, very severe health issue. you can, after that, if you survive, you can have, you can stay with paralysis or something severe. They say we can cut meningitis because we clean old places where old dust has this virus, they say. That's what I know. Let me know what you know about meningitis, please, in the comments or whatever you want. As it is not possible to test this hypothesis in humans, the team used mice exposed to chronic social stress. Chronic social stress in mice, I want to know how that works. In this experiment, an intruder mouse is introduced into the home cage of an aggressive resident mouse. The two have brief daily physical interactions and can otherwise see, smell, and hear each other. The researchers found that prolonged exposure to this stressful environment led to a noticeable increase in levels of neutrophils in the meninges. Let's see how to pronounce this. For those that don't know, this is my self-training in English for public speaking, sorry. I'm training myself to speak in public in English without making the audience feel pain. Meninges pronunciation. Meninges. Okay, meninges. Thank you for your patience. So the researchers found that prolonged exposure to this stressful environment led to a noticeable increase in levels of neutrophils in the meninges. Oh, I forgot how to say. Meninges. Yeah, meninges. Sounds strange. Let's continue. And that this was linked to signs of depressive behavior in the mice. What is a depressive behavior in the mice? Even after the stress ended, the neutrophils lasted longer in the meninges than they did in the blood. Ooh. We still hearing Mulatu Astatke. I like it. I hope you too. Because if not, that must be painful as well. Double pain. Analysis confirmed the researchers' hypothesis that the meningeal neutrophils, which appear subtle, different from those found in the blood. Analysis confirmed the researchers' hypothesis that the meningeal neutrophils, which appeared subtle different from those found in the blood, originated in the skull. Okay. Those originated from the skull. In the skull are subtle different, appear to be different from those in the blood. In which way? I don't know. Further analysis suggested that long-term stress triggered a type of immune system alarm warning known as type 1 interferon as type 1 interferon signaling in the neutrophils. Okay. Blocking this pathway, in effect switching off the alarm, reduced the number of neutrophils in the meninges and improved behavior in the depressed mice. Okay. How do you reduce the number of neutrophils in the meninges of a mice? I would like to know as well, but we don't have that. Maybe we need to go to the paper and read a lot of other hard things, so we stay ignoring that. This pathway has previously been linked to depression. Type 1 interferons are used to treat patients with hepatitis C, for example, but a known side effect of the medication is that it can cause severe depression during treatment. Wow. That's a new one. So if you're getting a treatment for hepatitis C, you might or may not have some severe depression during the treatment. Wow, I don't like it. Dr. Stacy Kiger from the Department of Medicine at the University of Cambridge said, "Our work helps explain how chronic stress can lead to lasting changes in the brain immune environment. Lasting changes, potentially contributing to depression. It also opens the door to possible new treatments that target the immune system rather than just brain chemistry." So now they want to mess with your immune system to cure the depression that comes from the treatment of hepatitis C. A non-ending maze or labyrinth. There's a significant proportion of people for whom antidepressants don't work. Possibly as many as 1 in 3 patients. No! If we can figure out what's happening with the immune system while we are messing with it, with your immune system, we may be able to alleviate or reduce depressive symptoms. Maybe able. The reason why there are high levels of neutrophils in the meninges is unclear. One explanation could be that they are recruited by microglia, a type of immune cell unique to the brain. Recruited? How so? Another possible explanation is that chronic stress may cause microhemorrhage. Let's see how this sounds. Please, bear with me. I want to learn. Microhemorrhage. It's not a correct spelling. Let's go to the translator. What happened? The audio is out. Now? Uh-oh. What's wrong with this? Okay. Goodbye the music. Let's align this. Human and AI share similar learning strategies. That's the second article I wanted to read to you. If we are not crashing the computer. And let's find another music. We don't have music. Better. Okay. Tiny leaks in the brain blood vessels and that neutrophils, the body's first responder, arrive to fix the damage and prevent any further damage. These neutrophils then become more rigid, possibly getting stuck in brain capillaries and causing further inflammation in the brain. Dr. Mary Ellen Linnell from the Department of Psychiatry at the University of Cambridge said, "We've long known that something is different about how neutrophils or neutrophils behave after stressful events or during depression, but we didn't know what these neutrophils or neutrophils, I have to know how to pronunciate this word. Please bear with me. Maybe we learn together." Oh, we don't have the audio. I have the audio.
Microhemorrhages.
Microhemorrhages was the
Microhemorrhages.
the another word we tried to. Okay.
Neutrophils.
Neutrophils. Oh, I was very far away of the correct pronunciation. Neutrophils. I'm okay? I'm right?
Neutrophils.
Neutrophils. Okay. But we didn't know what these neutrophils were doing, where they were going, or how they might be affecting the brain and mind. Our findings show that these first responder immune cells leave the skull bone marrow and travel to the brain, where they can influence mood and behavior. Most people will have experienced how our immune systems can drive short-lived depression-like symptoms. Yes. When we are sick, for example, with a cold or flu, we often lack energy and appetite, sleep more, and withdraw from social contact. If the immune system is always in a heightened pro-inflammatory state, it shouldn't be too surprising if we experience longer-term problems with our mood. Oh, very interesting. So maybe the reason why we need our mood down while trying to heal is because less activity, physical activity, is less energy consumed for trivial purposes and more energy used for healing. If that makes sense, I hope. The findings could provide a useful signature or biomarker to help identify those patients whose mood disorders are related to inflammation. That's another important thing. We can ask Jay Gallinello, Frank's friend, quite frankly, a co-host sometimes, that knows a lot of food, is a nutritionist that can help with what food can cause inflammation in the body and which parts of the body. This could help in the search for better treatments. For example, a clinical trial of a potential new drug that targets inflammation of the brain in depression might appear to fail if trialed on a general cohort of people with depression, whereas using the biomarker to identify individuals whose depression is linked to inflammation could increase the likelihood of the trial succeeding. That makes sense. The findings may also help explain why depression is a symptom common in other neurological disorders such as stroke and Alzheimer's disease. Okay, in those cases, it's clearly because the severe discapacity that comes with, if you cannot move as you used to move through the world, or in the case of strokes, and when you cannot understand reality as good as before with Alzheimer's, can be depressive, of course. As it may be the case that neutrophils are being released in response to the damage to the brain seen in these conditions. But it may also explain why depression is itself a risk factor for dementia in later life. if neutrophils can themselves trigger damage to brain cells. Okay, that was a good one. Let's do the next. I'm gonna try to play some music and see if it works before I start. If you don't mind. Music. Where's the music? Let's go here. Ooh, this is a good one. What's that? Of a name? Seraphim? I don't remember. We are still with Mulatu Astatke. Let's wait until the groove starts, and I'm gonna read this. Okay, the groove does not start, but I'm gonna start. Okay. Humans and AI share similar learning strategies. In this occasion, I'm not gonna read their summary. Maybe you already did. Brown University is the source. New research found similarities in how humans and artificial intelligence integrate two types of learning, offering a new insights about how people learn, as well as how to develop more intuitive AI tools. Led by Jack Racine, a postdoctoral research associate in computer science at Brown University, the study found by training an AI system that flexible and incremental learning modes interact similarly to working memory and long-term memory in humans. So, flexible and incremental learning in AI models, flexible and incremental, it's similar to working memory and long-term memory in humans. I cannot see how. Let's dive in. I like the graphic. These results help explain why a human looks like a rule-based learn. These results help explain why a human looks like a rule-based learner in some circumstances and an incremental learner in others. Racine said, they also suggest something about what the newest AI systems have in common with the human brain. Racine holds a joint appointment in the laboratories of Michael Frank, a professor of cognitive and psychological sciences, and director of the Center for Computational Brain Science at Brown's Kearney Institute for Brain Science, and Eli Pavlik, an associate professor of computer science, who leads the AI Research Institute on Interaction for EA Assistants at Brown. So, long titles for these scientists. This study was published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences. Depending on the task, humans acquire new information in one of two ways. For some tasks, by doing, I'd say, such as learning the rule of tic-tac-toe in context. Learning allows people to figure out the rules quickly after a few examples. Yes, like an alien that comes from Mars to Earth for the first time and start watching two persons playing chess, he would not need more than 2 or 3 games to understand all the rules of the game and play it very well. I hope that makes sense. Depending on the task, humans acquire new information in one of two ways. For some tasks, such as learning the rules of tic-tac-toe in context, learning allows people to figure out the rules quickly after a few examples. In other instances, incremental learning builds on information to improve understanding over time, such as the slow, sustained practice involved in learning to play a song on the piano. Yes, we cannot learn to play piano by watching a person play piano. I like these two types of learning. Very clear, cut and clear. While researchers knew that humans and AI integrate both forms of learning, it wasn't clear how the two learning types work together. Over the course of the research team's ongoing collaboration, Racing, whose work bridged machine learning and computational neuroscience, developed a theory that the dynamic might be similar to the interplay of human working memory and long-term memory. Working memory might be the equivalent of learning. I don't know. I don't want to speculate. Let's continue. To test this theory, Racit used meta-learning, a type of training that helps AI system learn about the act of learning itself, to tease out key properties of the two learning types. The experiments revealed that the AI system's ability to perform in-context learning emerged after it meta-learned through multiple examples. One experiment adapted from an experiment in humans tests for in-context learning by challenging the AI to recombine similar ideas to deal with new situations. If thought about a list of colors and a list of animals, could the AI correctly identify a combination of color and animal, e.g. a green giraffe it had not seen together previously? After the AI meta-learned by being challenged to 12,000 similar tasks, it gained the ability to successfully identify new combinations of colors and animals. Was not so easy. The results suggest that for both humans and AI, quicker, flexible in-context learning arises after a certain amount of incremental learning has taken place. After the first board game, it takes you a while to figure out how to play, public say. By the time you learn how 100th board game you can pick up, by the time you learn your 100th board game, you can pick up the rules of play quickly, even if you've never seen that particular game before. I don't get that. Sorry, I need more music. A little bit of tango. I like it. Yes. At the first, I'm gonna try to understand the paragraph again with tango. At the first board game, it takes you a while to figure out how to play, public said. By the time you learn your 100th board game, you can pick up the rules of play quickly, even if you've never seen that particular game before. I still don't get it. The team also found trade-offs, including between learning retention and flexibility, similar to humans. The harder it is for AI to correctly complete a task, the more likely it will remember how to perform it in the future. Yes, that I can say it's true, and it's very helpful for teaching children new stuff. You know, to learn how to assume the natural consequences of your acts. If you help your child assume to take responsibility of the consequences of their acts in the house, in the school, it's so painful to accept and take responsibility of those consequences that you might not wanna suffer that again, and you do your homework, you accommodate your room, etc. before losing your access to your cell phone, for example, or your PlayStation, whatever. According to Frank, who has studied this paradox in humans, this is because errors cue the brain to update information stored in long-term memory. Very true. Whereas error-free actions learned in context increase flexibility but don't engage long-term memory in the same way. That's why we learn from errors, not from success. A blind man with a stick that needs to walk through a new city, for example, the brain map of this person is made only of failed attempts of advancing. You know, his sticks cannot go further the wall, so he recalculates and go in another direction, and so on and so on. So that's all fail attempt solutions. But when he arrives to his final goal or destination, his mind map is made all of only failed attempts, if that makes sense. For Frank, who specialized in building biological-inspired computational models to understand human learning and decision-making, the team's work showed how analyzing strengths and weaknesses of different learning strategies in an artificial neural network can offer new insights about the human brain. Our results hold reliably across multiple tasks and bring together disparate? I have to learn how to pronunciate this. Please bear with me. Neutrophils, that was a good one. Disparate. Huh? Disparate sounds like more like desperation, that despair. Disparate, where I was. Okay. Our results hold reliably across multiple tasks and bring together disparate aspects of human learning that neuroscientists hadn't grouped together until now, Frank said. The work also suggests important considerations for developing intuitive and trustworthy AI tools, particularly in sensitive domains such as mental health. To have helpful and trustworthy AI assistants, human and AI cognition need to be aware of how each works and the extent that they are different and the same, Public said. These findings are a great first step. I agree. Okay, thank you very much for your patience for those who could bear this painful stream. Thank you very much. See you the next one. Have a nice Monday, 8th of September 2025. Goodbye.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. We need to finish this project.
Come on and cry me a river.